he needs to be able to get over whatever demons he's fighting.
I'm gonna stand in your corner. You must be mad. You must be mad. I would never be in your corner.
Chris Eubank Jr. has finally spoken out. His response? Direct and unapologetic. He's calling his father's comments cruel. Chris Eubank Jr. spoke of the adversity he endured being brought up with the burden of his father's reputation. He discussed how the press was imposed upon him early in life, way before he ever had any hope of creating a name of his own. All the comparisons, the expectation, wasn't pressure, it was on a personal level. He talked about learning how to deal with the limelight, the attention, and the fame that trailed behind him everywhere he went.
Why am I so precise and specific with the things that I say? You know, having cameras shoved in your face, microphones put in front of you for years and years and years, you learn how to be in front of the public, in front of the media, in front of journalists. You learn what works and what doesn't work. You learn to take your time.
Chris Eubank Jr. explained his own development as a fighter and how he changed from being a bad fighter to much improved. He confessed that the early days of his career in the ring were filled with challenges and errors. He wasn't always technically proficient or mentally conditioned, and improvement was gradual. He worked on his flaws, learned from his losses, and slowly perfected his art. He became the fighter he is now through years of hard work and self-development, all done consistently and persistently.
Within my first 10 fights, as an amateur, sparring pros every day, getting my ass kicked every day, and coming back again and again and again and again, until the beatings I was taking would just, you know, they get less and less and less and less, and then eventually, oh, I won a round today. Oh, I won 2 rounds today. Oh, I hit that guy with a body shot and, you know, winded him. I heard him go, ooh, you know. This guy was kicking my ass a few months ago, and I just hurt him. Just building, dedicating. That's what it takes to, you know, reach the heights that I've reached, I guess.
Chris Eubank Jr. talked about his father and what he has always done for him. He spoke about how his growing up with Eubank Sr. taught him discipline, mental toughness, and how to handle pressuring situations. Despite all the difficulties that had come between them, Jr. acknowledges the fact that the strict and often high-pressure surroundings in which he grew ensured he holds the mental toughness he professes today, both in and out of the ring. While they may have a strained relationship, he credits a great deal of his mindset and strength to the upbringing his father gave him.
I don't know if I would say unhealthy. I mean, he was extremely strict. I got away with nothing. If I messed up in school, if I didn't do a chore, if I got into a fight with my brothers, it was physical punishment, whether it was a belt, whether it was a cane, whether it was, you know, a slap. Back then, you know, in the 90s, that was how you disciplined your kids. So that is where my fear obviously originated from, having to deal with that. But again, you know, that type of punishment and that type of upbringing, that type of strictness, it made me who I am today. It prepared me for the brutality of the sport of boxing.
Eubank Sr. also has always been in awe of his son's talent and promise. However, he's made it plain that he finds it difficult to accept the person Chris Eubank Jr. is today. Even though Sr. acknowledges Jr. skills in the ring, Sr. cited that the environment his son is moving in is keeping him back. He feels that the individuals and influences surrounding Jr. are taking away from his full potential, and that his son is no longer on the road to greatness that Sr. had envisioned for him. Eubank Sr. has also raised concerns that the distractions and the manner in which Jr. is conducting himself outside the ring are having an impact on his performance and attitude. For Sr., it's not so much about the talent, it's about the environment that conditions a fighter, and he feels Jr.'s current environment isn't enabling him to shine as brightly as he can.
That speed and that crack in your punches. David Hay called me the other day and said, He doesn't spar, he does everything that he wants to do. He's got yes men around him. And so it seems to me, by what David Hayes said to me, that he's still not listening.
Despite the criticism, Chris Eubank Jr. has expressed the strongest desire to have his father in his corner, despite the tension and harsh words that have passed between them. According to him, no matter the differences, he always wanted to have the guidance and presence of his father during his fights. Jr. said that having Eubank Sr. by his side would mean a lot professionally and personally.
Even in the biggest fight of my career, we're still talking about my old man. That shadow is gargantuan, but I didn't see it as a bad thing. I learned a lot from being in that shadow. I learned a lot from trying to eventually get out of the shadow. I think it's been a blessing. I wouldn't change it. This fight wouldn't be happening if it wasn't for what he did all those years ago. So of course, regardless of the fact that we've been estranged for a number of years now, I would want him there, involved in this massive event.
Whereas his father has been highly critical, condemning Chris Eubank Jr. for his behavior both in and out of the ring. The judgments have not been lenient, with Sr. going so far as to call Jr. a disgrace at one time. It's obvious that Eubank Sr. has not been afraid to let his displeasure be known at his son's behavior. A public confession revealed Sr. confessing that he did not desire to be standing in his son's corner, especially after his antics in a recent press conference where he smashed an egg against his opponent's face.
Because I will not be an accomplice to their stupidity, to their circus. Junior, you're smashing an egg against this guy's face. I taught you that? I didn't teach you that. Who taught you that? Did Karen teach you that? That's disgraceful. I'm gonna stand in your corner. You must be mad. You must be mad. I would never be in your corner. You're a disgrace. You're smashing an egg in someone's face, and then you're saying you're trying to justify it. There's no justification for that. There's nothing noble about that.
Chris Eubank Jr. got very teary-eyed talking about his dad, admitting that come what may, Eubank Sr. is still his old man. While there was tension and tough words being spoken, Jr. made sure to drive home how much it pains him not to have his dad behind him, especially in such a demanding profession. He did confess that not having his dad in his corner has been a major psychological challenge, playing on his mind and mental toughness. Jr. made it obvious that regardless of anything, he loves his father unconditionally.
Do you love him, your dad?
He's my old man. It doesn't matter if I don't talk to him until the day I die, I'm always gonna love him. He taught me everything.
He's indicated this fight means a lot to him, that you need to win.
When did he indicate that?
This is what we've been told.
Okay. Like I said, I haven't heard from him. I haven't heard any indications from him. As far as I know, he doesn't want this fight to go ahead.
Eubank Sr. just addressed the public, stating why he's taking the current standoff with his son. He made it clear that what he's criticizing Chris Eubank Jr. for is not necessarily going against him, but because it's all about merit. Sr. informed that his problems are because Jr. won't listen and can't stick with plans, and that there's a serious dip in his skills. According to Sr., the issue is not that Jr. lacks talent, but that he is not performing to the best of his abilities, and that is why he is slipping in terms of performance. Sr. went on to explain how, as a father, he had hoped for the best from his son, but could not ignore what he felt was an absence of discipline and commitment towards the sport. It's a tough love stance, with Sr. insisting that his harsh words are intended to push Jr. to be his best, even if that involves emotionally withdrawing.
I trained you. I brought you up in this boxing. I gave you an extraordinary start. That is based on your ability to box, but you changed that style to that of Mr. Jones. This has made you, in my view, an ordinary fighter. You're looking for wisdom, young man. You are not a reflex fighter, which is what you have now gone to by dropping your hands. Now, some or a lot may say, well, okay, you're speaking against your son. No, I'm not speaking against my son. I'm speaking about the truth of boxing. You know, I know there's a great deal of people, it seems, out there who are like, well, you know, no matter what your son does, you gotta be in his corner. You gotta be behind him. How can you be behind someone who does not listen? Over and above that, someone who will do the opposite of what you advise. This is what I've had to deal with.
Moreover, Eubank Sr. added to the rift created by his open objection against the imminent fight of his son. The reason he gave was that the fight wouldn't be conducted under proper rules and regulations, indicating that the very event has become questionable and lacks serious structuring. Sr. doesn't exactly seem to buy into the process of how this fight is being conducted, saying that it handles non-professional standards. It's not just a personal matter either, it's more a case of what he perceives to be a risk to his son in which he is directly involved.
I told my son 3 years ago that fight does not happen. He's the wrong weight. I told him why it shouldn't happen and why it will not happen. I was correct last time and I will be correct this time. Why? Because I'm standing on the rules. I'm not preventing it from not happening. The rules are preventing it. So don't look at me and say, oh, you know, I would like you to, because I'd like to take, let's say, credit for it not happening, but I can't take credit.
In response to his father, Junior's message became evident. He's no longer a boy seeking his father's approval. Rather, he is now a man making his choices. The concerns put forth by Senior were acknowledged, but the decision to fight belongs to Eubank Jr. and to him only. Junior inferred that the choice made is worthy of respect, for regardless of whether it's right or wrong, he is going into that ring. He feels that at this point of his life and career, he wants support and acceptance from those around him, especially his father, instead of being controlled by them.
We are fighters, you know. I'm 35 years old. I'm not a kid anymore. You can't be worried or fearful for my safety. If as a man I feel like I can do something, if I can achieve something, you have to be happy with that, support that, and, you know, not go against it because you believe it's not right or it's not okay or it's against the rules. The fight is going to happen. He's still saying things like the fight won't happen. And I can't even say it's crazy of him to say that because he said it the last time and the fight didn't happen. So even though it still is crazy for me to hear him say that, I've got to just let him say it. But the fight will happen.
Eubank Sr. explained that his opposition to the fight wasn't merely a matter of rules, it was a matter of health. He voiced serious concern about the drastic weight cut his son would have to make for the fight, saying that it would be a physical risk and ultimately end up costing him the bout. Sr. feels the weight requirements are dangerous and place Jr. in danger, both on the performance and health fronts. In his view, no fight is worth risking your health, and that's why he objected to the bout against Conor Benn from the beginning.
Chris Eubank Jr. was a fantastic fighter, is a fantastic fighter, but he's too heavy. Okay, he is a 168-pound fighter. For him to get down to 160 now is too much for him. So Conor would be fighting someone who has lost his punch resistance, which was proven with this Mr. Smith. Again, I don't talk against my son. I'm there to protect him because I know how dangerous this young man is in Conor Benn. I know how dangerous he is. 147 fights, 147. Leave Junior alone.
It is evident that, through all the noise and public denouncements, Eubank Sr. still cares about his son. The actions and concerns flow out of tough love, conditioned by experience and a high standard. However blunt or unforgiving the delivery may be, it is a message of concern. Sr. wants the best for Junior, hardest voice in the room. Chris Eubank Jr. spoke of a recent meeting with his father that did not turn out well, and he did not go into details. However, one could tell from his comments that they have not enjoyed a good father-son relationship for a long time, and one could see it. Junior indicated that with each passing year, the two have quietly drifted from each other, with the recent meeting indicating just how distant they've become. The conversation was cool and did not foster reconciliation, but appeared to embody years of unresolved tension featuring a growing emotional distance.
I believe you spoke to your dad the other day. Was that the first time in a while?
Yes, it was.
Was it, I believe it was at Harlem's fight, was it prearranged? Did you just bump into him?
It wasn't prearranged, but, you know, I decided to show up and just, you know, say hello.
How long had it been since you'd spoken to him?
I mean, A real conversation in person, years.
I think he said that you no longer look naive. When he saw you the other day, the experience has changed you. Does that feel accurate?
That's his, that's his analysis, but the truth is that I was never naive.
He also publicly declared that he still wishes to mend fences with his father. Despite everything that has gone on, the public criticisms, the emotional distance, and most recently a failed meeting, Junior has voiced a sincere desire to restore their relationship. He acknowledges that it will be difficult, considering how strained their relationship has become, but he doesn't want to lose hope. For Junior, the door is still open. He wants to reach some common ground, rebuild bridges, and ideally have his father back in his corner, not just in boxing, but in an emotional support sense.
Any attempt to get back together with him?
Of course.
Has he rebuffed that?
No. No, he hasn't.
So what's stopping you, would you say?
What's stopping what?
What's stopping you getting back to talking again?
He needs to be able to get over whatever demons he's fighting. Now, this fight, it's either gonna enable him to get over those demons, or unfortunately it's gonna make those demons grow. I don't know. I still hope he's there on the night, just like his old man will be.
Do you think he will be?
I honestly don't know. I hope and I pray that he is. And I will do things to try and get him there. But if he isn't, guess what? I'm still gonna go out there and do the job.
At its purest, this really isn't just a divide between two men. It's a divide between a father and a son, both molded by the same legacy, but taking different paths. Whatever the course of events from now on, be it reconciliation or otherwise, the emotional intensity of this saga will stretch far beyond any fight night. For more updates and insights into the world of boxing, keep following. The Eubank Jr. and Senior saga is far from over, and the next chapter may just be the wildest yet.